Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's a crazy kind of Thursday morning. It snowed all night long. We got about 8 to 10 inches of snow overnight. So I went out this morning and hand shoveled the driveway because my snow blowers are out in my shed and it's this deep to get to the shed and they haven't been run this year yet. So, well, kind of is what it is. Yeah, about 6 to 8 inches of snow here, Ed. And we're supposed to get some more snow later today. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? As you can see, the Canadian Coast Guard cutter buoy tender is proceeding up. It's going to escort the Algo Nova up into Lake Huron. It's headed for Sault Ste. Marie. I don't know how the hell it's going to get there, but it's a chemical petroleum tanker. Yeah, it's spitting snow here right now. We got another tanker that's going to be leaving downbound from the Sarnia oil and petroleum plants area, which is just south of Sarnia down on the St. Clair River. And it's headed for Nanticoke. And this is a tug that is out of Sarnia, and it's headed up bound as well. Yeah, it's Saturday. Also, we're supposed to get, it's supposed to be a snowy weekend next several days. And the sad part is I've got two snow blowers, one great big huge one and one small one that you kind of just push along. But both of them are out in a shed out and back. I didn't do my due diligence this fall and bring them around into the garage. And neither one of them been started, and they're both gasoline. The one's a mixed gas and the other one is regular gas. So that's my fault. Yeah, that would have made a good video, but I can't, there's nobody here, so I can't go get it. But then again, with it spitting a little bit of ice and snow, I don't know if I want to be flying in that anyway. I mean, I have, but right back, gang. I had to put a screen up because I was getting glare out of the windows. Hey Brenda, how you doing? Good, I hope. You can see the snow is back. Here comes Joe.
Football. Got a lot of people in the chat.
Yep.
Jonathan, Edward, Brenda, Brian.
So what did you do last night, Joe?
Watched a couple of things on YouTube, watched some TV, went to bed. Printing a fidget right now. There's the outside of it, it's a heart.
Oh yeah.
The inside's a red heart for it goes in and out with the Valentine's Day fidget. I printed these last night. The outsides in white. I got the insides printing down to make 4 of them. With 2 different colors, about 5 hours.
Wow. Now is that for your granddaughter?
Well, I'm gonna probably give my granddaughter one because she likes playing with these. I gave her one like this, and she'll sit there and play with it. I made the ones that look like Christmas trees, and they gave them out to all the kids around Christmas time, and they said that was the hit. They said they're still playing with them.
Wow.
This one, I'm trying. I can see it. I can see the direction. I just can't see it going in there. I don't know how it's gonna spin in there because it's a heart, you know.
Yeah.
I can't understand. I'm looking at it. It's got to be a little small. It's going to spin in it because it's definitely got a spiral.
How's the weather down there, Joe?
Well, we're going to have nice weather for a couple of days. For a couple of days.
I got 8 to 10 inches of snow overnight.
Well, that's good.
I was out shoveling the snow in the driveway.
You got to get that thing working. The snow blower. That'd be my priority, getting that snow blower working and not worrying about the freaking rats. And I guarantee if you find out where they lived at, they got more nuts than you do. They're just stacking them up, thinking, this crazy man giving us more food, we should keep them. I saw that flight you did. Yeah, you and me gotta talk. That flight you did on the river, where you just showed everything and you went and focused on the area you thought you lost the drone.
Yep.
Or in the Algo Nova, we'll let you know when we turn around.
I looked at that picture. I had to stop and look at it because you zoomed in again and then you took off, and then you were really erratic. You were like all over the place for a minute. But that's not the issue. But I looked at that building that you lost the drone by,
Yep.
and that tree that I said was 80 foot was not 80 foot. The only tree out there looks like it might have been 20 feet max.
Yep.
So you may have been dropping in altitude the whole time and not
Yep.
realizing.
Probably dropped and came into that tree. Yep.
Yeah, you're about 20 feet off the ground. If you were that high.
Well, I'm lucky I didn't hit the building.
Lucky didn't hit a person.
Well, there wasn't any people out there, but yes.
Well, you didn't know that. There might have been people there.
No,
They-
because it was the weekend and they close up, all the city services close up out of there.
Well, if you were that low, you were flying around homes and everything before that. You know, because they got homes further up. And you don't
Yep.
know who was out walking. You had to be, I'd say 30, 35 feet max. I wish you had that flight record. I'd like to see it. We're gonna have Donald come in here and scold you later.
My buddy Donald.
He's gonna bring fisheye in to scold you.
So are you, Johnny, gonna go fly today or?
Well, we talked to each other last night, but we never talked about flying because it's overcast really bad. It's not gonna clear up till this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably, I can fly tomorrow. I have time tomorrow to fly.
Now, do you have any games you got to do tonight?
Got a game tonight, game tomorrow. The next 4 days, I got game, parade. And I gotta find out the schedule. They got my sister lives out in a place called Eden Isles, out in Slidell. All waterfront. And they got a parade that goes through there called, just add it on, but I'll think of it in a minute. It's a boat parade. And I told her, I said, yeah, I'm gonna come out and fly the drone. She goes, don't waste your time. It's a piece of crap. You said it's crappy looking.
Oh, I gotta pitch some peanuts. They're out there.
Leave them out there.
Huh?
Just leave them. They'll be fine.
Well, they'll be thanking you, Joe. They'll
they're
put it out.
laughing.
They'll put it out over the wire that Captain Joe is a great guy because he makes sure Paul feeds us.
So Captain Joe's gonna come visit. We're gonna have some gumbo. We're gonna have jambalaya and gumbos with the main course squirrel.
Gumbo,
They look fat enough.
Gumbo City, huh? I'll be right back.
Roasted squirrel,
There it
stewed
is,
squirrel.
that ship going through the ice out there.
That ship looks like it's leaning. Mark, what's up?
Morning, Joe.
Yeah, it's just all doing the same thing.
Damn cold out here. Four degrees feels like 0.
Wow. And then there was Lance.
Morning, Joe.
Morning, Lance.
Morning, Mark. You might hear my.
Well, we talked about that as when he was in
What am
Washington.
I-
My buddy
he was
Lance.
not allowed playing baseball anymore.
Football.
Ashes. Quiet.
Come in.
Joe, Lance, the reason I didn't greet you here is
Come in.
Joe had me go feed the peanuts to the squirrels, so.
Come
I
here.
believe.
Don't look at that.
Hey, Mark,
Hi, Paul.
The only thing I would have you do, Paul, is go set a trap.
no, I'm not looking to make him into pets. They're
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm
they're
talking about eating
free.
them.
They're free. They're free.
They'd be
And we're back.
breaded and cooked. Breaded and deep fried.
We're free.
They're bound to taste like chicken.
Yeah, they're gonna taste like peanuts. What you talking about?
Well, satay chicken then.
Those squirrels, I guarantee you, every one of those squirrels tastes like peanuts.
Did you post your crack, Paul?
Yeah. I don't know. Did I, Joe? I don't know
No,
if I
you
did.
didn't
No,
post, Brad.
I did not post the crash. Okay.
You ought to post it. You probably get more views. That's what happened.
She has to do that.
to your pharmacy 3 days
Let me see if I've got it. Hey, Donald.
Hope
Hey,
you don't, I
Paul.
hope you didn't. Hope you didn't. What you call it? Delete it.
Paul, why don't you start throwing like pizza and stuff like that, like old food out in your yard, and see if you can collect some rats too.
I don't know.
But he's already got rats with bushy tails.
Yeah, those are tree rats.
Well, you ought to see him hop through the deep snow, like surfing.
Squirrels are fun to watch. I
Yes,
admit.
they are, and they are so friendly. You know, they come right up and knock on the door. You know, just they're
But my food.
They're
That-
checking
That's
on
not
me.
friendly.
Yeah.
No, that's not friendly. They're checking on where their food. It's a shakedown.
And they're even better to eat, Donald.
Yeah, the squirrels on our golf course come up to you and climb up your golf bags.
There you go. So you know what I'm talking about, right, Mark?
Yeah,
They
they're,
are-
they're,
They are
scroungers.
really friendly.
They're scroungers.
Yeah, don't give them any food for about a week and see how friendly they are.
you may have a right to debt relief. There are a number.
Talking about that, Mark, our crows sit on hole 2 and sit on hole 11, and they grab potato chip bags out of the golf carts, because you go up to putt and they know, hey, you stopped at the turn, you grab some chips or you grabbed a hot dog, and it's sitting in your cart, and we're gonna go snag it while you're putting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's sitting right up on top of that bag.
Well, that's what they do. You know, that's they're expected.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bunch
we
of
don't
thieves.
have that with crows, but the seagulls are like that.
Radical.
Now, we do have a few crows. We've got a murder here in the neighborhood that cruise around, and I've been thinking about trying to make friends with the crows around here because I like crows.
They're big.
They're just too loud.
Oh,
That's what I don't like.
They are loud, but
They do get rid of all the roadkill though.
I think that's why they hang out back here. There's a
Callsme UK HT.
little bit more busy of a road back behind like the next house over, and a little bit of woods, and there's always something getting hit on that stretch road there.
0126.
Mm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they were sneaking people's cat food that they're setting outside.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Starting on the 13th of February, 2025. Who called me HTTPS : who dash called .co.uk 0126962307 who called me. Who called Co UK? This number is owned by IP Voice Networks Limited and is primarily associated with solar panel scheme scam. Wireless
Scams again. Whoa.
We need some warm weather.
We do. Hold on, it's there.
Is that cold out here? The cigarette lighter won't work. She's had to go inside and get one that's warm.
It's a bit painful. Why is it cold?
Very cool.
So you got your appointment at where is it?
Yeah, 3:20 and 5:20, and then one at 12:20 tomorrow for bloods.
So say it again. Say it again.
3:20 at the district nurse,
and then
5:20 at the doctors, and 12:20 for bloods tomorrow.
Lord, we got this woman on TV, right? Her last name was the last name of a friend of mine. And I said, well, she looks young. I wonder if she's related somewhere in the family. So I'll go look her up. And they got a picture of her standing there with a pair of slippers, like that slippers on, like thongs on, with on her feet. And I thought she had her feet crossed, right?
I wish you
It's a
wouldn't.
big old freaking bunion on the side.
Wish you wouldn't call them that. Thongs are a completely different thing here.
Well, flip flops, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's why I changed it from thong. But she's wearing these sandals on. That's what I'm trying to get out. Sandals on her feet. And I looked down because you could barely see all her feet. And when I looked down, it just stuck out. Looked like she had her feet crossed. And I'm saying, wait, her legs aren't crossed. Look down there, it's a big old freaking bunion. Shoot, you got a foot that looks like that. Wear clothes and shoes.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see that. Glad I wasn't eating.
Well, if she's got a bunion there, she probably can't wear closed up shoes because
Well, she got tennis shoes on every other picture. Keep wearing tennis. God darn it. Her feet are about a foot apart, and that bunion almost touched another one. Go get that thing scraped off or something.
Yeah. Needs doing it.
That was my wife, and she touched me with that thing. I keep saying, go fix that. Oh, hell.
What? Nothing there. There is no need to bark. There isn't.
I see Precious is talking to you.
Well, she's barking at something, but there's nothing there.
Ooh, maybe you got spooks in the house.
Oh no, she's outside in the garden.
Oh, outside.
Mm,
Oh, maybe the
Rabbit.
garden gnomes are bugging her.
yeah.
Back in the bin. I thought being a carrot on the back.
You know, the thing of it is our animals, our pets, are much more aware of our surroundings than we are.
And I must have been there for weeks.
Right, Lance?
That's right.
So you live over in Europe where there's a lot of garden gnomes around.
Yeah, they do tend to put gnomes in the garden for some reason.
It's an
Gnome-
act of it's an act of reverence.
Well, there's none in mine.
Well, that's what he's probably barking at. How come everybody else has got gnomes? We don't.
Mm. I do have hedgehogs. And there are a couple of squirrels in the trees somewhere.
Oh, you got some buddies too. All right.
Yeah, we see them every now and again.
They're all family.
When the dog sees them, she barks.
Joe put you higher on the scale if you've got squirrels. Right, Joe?
You're not on my list.
And I've got nesting magpies as well in one of the trees.
And in fact, Joe, are you still thinking about starting that channel, International Squirrel Support Line?
Mine's gonna have a squirrel in there. They're gonna be tied up, getting ready to get slaughtered. And I would say, don't waste your money on peanuts. That's gonna be the name of the channel. Mine's gonna be what are squirrels good for? And it's gonna be jambalaya.
Hey, Justin, how you doing?
I'm glad you came in. I gotta talk to you.
What?
Hey, Justin.
Morning, Justin.
Wow, what's wrong?
No, I went and I finally found out how to get in the BIOS.
Right.
So I went through the back door like they told me to do, right? Because the F1 didn't work either. I went through and told it to recover, go back and do this. Then it brought me into the BIOS screen. It says, do you want to get into this? So I went into that. Guess what? Once you go into that, I lose my display ports, so my screens don't work. So I can't see what I'm doing.
That's weird.
That's what you get for going through the back door.
Well, I wonder, I couldn't do it before the other way. It won't go in any other way.
Which is
So
weird
I'm gonna
because you have the same BIOS
now,
that I do.
That's why we couldn't get the F1 to work on the keyboard, because Bluetooth's not working either. So I can do everything with the key, with a USB keyboard. So I'm wondering if I had a USB monitor, but I don't have one.
That doesn't. What? No.
If I had like some kind of connection, I could do USB to HDMI or something like that, Maybe that would work. I don't even know if they make it.
Unless, since your computer, I don't know, your computer being a pre-built, maybe they did some weird kind of lockout feature on it. I don't know.
It's stupid. The Lenovo told me F1.
Yeah, well, those guys are reading off a script and they're idiots.
Oh, I know. I know. And the only way they can give me somebody else is if I pay for it. I ain't paying for it.
Usually you have to pay to go in the back door.
Yeah. It all depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though, like, because you have the same BIOS I do, so there must be something that Lenovo put on there that's preventing you from getting in there the regular way.
But even that, what gets me is when it boots back up and it goes into the recovery mode and it gives me to change my settings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I click on that, I get all of a sudden my display ports just go off. It's not reading the display ports. And I sat there for 20 minutes waiting for them to come back just in case, and nothing.
Have you tried plugging into the HDMI port on your card?
I did that too.
I don't know, then that's weird. I've never seen that before.
So it
That's gotta
doesn't
be
give
some
me
weird
anything
shit
coming
that,
out to show me. But I'm still getting USB. That's one of my, I wondered if I need to go look and see if there's a cable. Like a HDMI to USB, you know what I mean?
wait,
You should be able to get that.
trying to think here, hold on.
It's just aggravating. 'Cause I thought I had it, I thought I was there.
Yeah, that's, it might have been some weird shit that Lenovo put on there. I don't know. It's hard to say
Yeah, they
because it
got a
was a
cable,
pre-built
HDMI
too,
to
so.
USB. They do make one.
You need Sam.
It's not, it's $6.
Well, the thing is with pre-built, sometimes they put weird proprietary shit on the software. That's
Yeah.
not on. You gotta figure out what it is.
Well, that's not bad, $6.99 for it.
I'll have to do some research and see if I can figure it out. I don't know why it would be. Because it should allow at least one of your screens to come on. Like when I go into my BIOS, one of my screens stays on, the other two shut off.
Yeah, both of them turned off. Then all the other option may be, see, if they both turn off, it's not gonna make a difference. Another option was just make it one screen and have the other one off. And then see if that works, This is the only screen I got. But soon as I go into the, what's the EUFI or something like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I
BIOS, yeah.
click into that, I go black screens. And then it comes up display for it. It's time's out.
Huh.
I tried everything with the monitor, settings on the monitor, everything. There's gotta be something.
Well, it sucks
I
too.
may
You
just
can't even
buy this
remote
little-
access a computer while you're doing BIOS shit either. You can't
Yeah.
remote access it at all. You
Yeah.
have to literally walk somebody manually, like, you have to walk them through it. If you're gonna have them do that.
I may just buy the cable and see if that works. If it don't work, send it back, If it works, I might need it again.
I think it's just some weird proprietary shit they put on your motherboard. Because it was a pre-built. Because they're not really expecting people to work on those, Those are usually what people buy when they're not building their own shit,
Yeah. Well, I still think there's gotta be a way, if it's letting me almost into it, I should be able to get into it. Well, I don't
Like
know.
I said, I don't know because I've never run across that issue. So
Yeah.
that's literally, I have no idea. But like I said, I'm almost betting 100% that falls to either some weird shit Lenovo does, or it's just something that the manufacturer that built that computer as a pre-built put
Yeah.
as some weird shit on there to keep you from getting into it. Or there's some weird backdoor to get into it. And why they did that, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they don't want anybody fooling with it.
See, because
Maybe-
I have the same BIOS, but I have an Asus motherboard. Mine's not a Lenovo.
AMPR, read, quote, plate. And that will be the problem driving around in a car that's on
Yeah, $6.80 for the HDMI 3.0, USB 3.0.
This means that if you bought my kind of car, see, but what if criminals could get their hands on genuine
I'm gonna
registration?
look up, see if I can figure it out.
I'm going to apply replacement cars. So I'm going to go in there and see if I can get. Could affect any car owner, not just those looking to buy in current lane. I don't like from that there. Make sure it is the right model. That's fine. Good start. Or since these are fixed documents don't match up, the sign the car has been
Okay, so it looks like it's, it might be a compatibility support module in your BIOS settings. Isn't set correctly, so your monitor isn't able to display it. But the problem is you gotta go into the BIOS to change that setting. And now one of the recommendations is switching to the HDMI port, which you've already said you tried, right? Have you tried HDMI to HDMI? Because you should have 3 display ports and 1 HDMI port on the back of your graphics card. And you're muted, by the way. Is Joe talking to me?
Yeah,
Oh, you're muted.
Wait. I had HDMI to HDMI off the computer. I had the
Okay.
computer change, I mean, the monitor changed to HDMI, it still came up black.
Yeah, so I don't know how you would go about changing that. Or it could be
Yeah,
an
the worst part
outdated
about it, this
BIOS.
is 2 days ago, and I don't remember where I put the cable.
Uh,
Well, I'll look for the
it's
cable
either,
wherever I put it today.
so it's either gonna be a compatibility support
Run away,
module
man.
setting that's wrong. The other 2 things it could be is your BIOS could be out of date. That could be another issue. And your monitor refresh rate may be set higher than what the BIOS has it set at. Says try lowering the refresh rate on your monitor.
And that might give it back to me.
Yeah, because your BIOS might have, say, only 60 hertz set in there to display the BIOS, where your monitor
You're talking
might
about
be
with the
set at
HDMI,
your monitor's refresh rate, whatever it's set at.
but you're
240.
talking HDMI to HDMI with the refresh rate.
Well, it does. It says it doesn't matter on the ports. It's just
Okay, because
refresh-
right now it's displaying the monitor with a 165.
yeah. See, I would try to go down to, if you can adjust the refresh rate, go down to 60, which is a standard,
Yeah,
and see if you can enter it with it set at 60.
yeah, because thinking about that it might be set at 60. So when you're trying to go in to fix it, it's not reading it.
Right.
That makes sense. I'll try that later. It's just aggravating, you know. It should automatically read the shit.
Like I said, I've never had a computer not just pull the BIOS up by hitting F2 or escape.
Yeah,
Like that's the standard
tried
key
everything.
to enter it. And that's why I
I've tried
said
all kind of ways.
it could be one of those weird compatibility issues like I just read off to you. Or like I think it possibly could just be some stupid
Okay,
ass
Lou.
setting that they have built, not pre-built,
Yeah.
that they put in it for some stupid reason.
See, what's got me mad about it, I want to get I want to put 2 more RAMs in it. I want to get another 64 in there. But I want it running right before I do it. I wanted to be able to change shit before I think about it.
Well,
You know?
pre-builts are, you know, those are definitely aimed towards people like you that aren't building your own. Most people that are enthusiasts don't buy pre-builts unless they just want or just don't feel like building their own. They don't give
People
a crap.
like me, what you talking about, Will?
Or, you know, it's not really, they're not really designed for you to want to work on them. I mean,
Yeah.
you can if you know what you're doing, but
Well, every other pre-built I've ever had, I've been able to get into things. You know, it's not, the screen's never gone bad. Now, I've never had over at 165 either. That might be it.
All you
Well,
do
you
is
know,
process elimination.
before you move, Joe, you gotta make sure there's squirrels in the area.
Yeah, it's squirrels. There gotta be squirrels. I got traps too. I got a pellet gun and traps.
No, Joe's not got squirrels in where he wants to move. They're raccoons.
They got raccoons. They got all kinds of stuff out there. They got coyotes too.
Well, how is your lawsuit coming anyway?
We're waiting. They said it was gonna be. They said after the first of the year that what they were doing is the organization that the attorneys that are working on it was gonna randomly pick a dozen of the cases. They were gonna take these dozen cases, but it was random based on what the problems were. And then they were gonna try to settle them and see what it was gonna be like, and then make a decision and work a chart off of that. And they said, so it's chances are that it's gonna be June to July before people start hearing.
I assume
So
so
it's just,
low in the
they got all the time in the world to play with you, you know?
It's a money grab, that's all.
Well, they're doing, they had a flow chart like a base on this is how much this is worth, this is how much this is worth. And I guess they got so many cases they dispute it, you know?
And they still going to take 40% of what they get for you as their fees.
Oh, yeah. Mine will. But that's 60% I didn't have, so
True.
I got to make a call. I ought to make it today and set up an appointment with this other company. They because of all the medical issues I have between the knees and the heart and all of those stuff, they'll file against the VA. It's completely different. Yeah, for military service. And a friend of mine has got less wrong with him than I do. Is getting $1,700 a month.
Or the pension. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what they do is this is just medical because they say the knees could be attributed to the Marine Corps. The heart issues actually could be attributed to the Marine Corps based on what we ate, what we had. It's just the stress levels and what they do is it's a whole bunch of factors in there, and the VA is saying, yep.
2 sausage McMuffins and 2 hash browns.
Yep, that'll do it.
And a large coffee.
Lance will be getting his lawsuit from McDonald's in 10 years from what he ate. Yeah, I don't know what's with Zoom lately, but the fucking volume on it is super low.
Yeah.
I got my
It's all right.
computer volume, everything turned all the way up, and I can barely hear it.
It's all right on my phone.
I've noticed it's been like that for about a month now. Ever since that last update they did, it's just on my computer. It's really low volume. Everything else I use is fine, but it's just something with Zoom. It's like it's locked into a certain volume.
She ran away.
Look at this crap. I'm sitting here and my phone updated.
Oh,
All that I wanted updated.
Well, you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Usually they do it's about the time of the month they do them.
Yes.
So now they got stolen device protection, right? It says as an air layer security, in case someone has stolen your iPhone and knows your passcode, you have to have your face. You have to do face. No delay is required when iPhone is at familiar locations, home or work. Change your sensitive settings like your Apple password is protected by security delay. Not now.
I said some of those security features can be annoying, but there's a reason why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, my phone's all on Face ID now. But every now and again, when you open it, it does ask you for the passcode. instead of automatically opening it with your
Yeah,
face.
mine does that too.
Yeah, I know on most, if I'm not mistaken, Samsung and Apple, I know when you turn the phone off and turn it back on, or if it dies and then you charge it and it turns back
Yeah,
on.
you've got to put the passcode in to get in it.
Yeah, requires a passcode initially the first time. I got all three on mine. I got the passcode, fingerprint, and the facial.
Yeah, me too.
So it's just which one of the three I get to. Usually the face picks it up before anything else. So.
Yeah.
You have an iPhone, Justin?
I got both thumbprints on it too, so I got double. That way, no matter what hand I'm holding it in, I can unlock it.
Yeah, like you're mad.
I'll tell you that facial ID, that shit's pretty hard to bypass because I've tried to use pictures and all kinds of shit to try to fool it. And it does not work.
It has to move. Your face, when you put your face in front of it, if your face doesn't move, it doesn't accept it.
Oh yeah, and I've even tried videos, so like from screens and stuff, and it will not work. Like it just knows, like there's something it's looking at that it's reading, and it knows that it's not an. Just like if you're sleeping and you try to put it up to somebody's face, it won't work.
Yeah, come back, mom says, quit trying to, they're sleeping, bitch. Like a Chinese finger puzzle here.
Yeah, they don't do the thumbprint on Apple anymore because there's no little button for the thumbprint reader anymore.
Samsung just does it on the screen. You can just tap on the screen and it reads your thumbprint. They don't use the buttons anymore either. It just comes up in the middle of my screen, and I hold my thumb down, and then it unlocks.
All right.
When's the last time you've been on there, Justin?
What?
On the stream?
About a week ago, maybe 3 or 4
So you
days
didn't
ago.
hear about Paul losing another drone, right?
Oh no, it was
a couple of days ago, weren't you?
Yeah. I was on Tuesday, I think.
Okay, he found a drone, by the way.
Oh, he did?
Well, the police found it. He said he was on the Canadian side. But when you look at the video, oh, that's another thing, Don. If you're around, you could hear it. If you look at the video and you look at that tree he hit, that tree is only about 20 feet high. Yeah, Don just came back. Don.
I don't want to hear about it.
So he was way lower than he said he was.
Yeah, he was about 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it.
He was also about half a mile away from where he thought he was. He went searching the Canadian side for it, and it turns out that he was zoomed in, and he was actually on the American side. And he he crashed into the only tree on the
it
grass
doesn't make
in front of
sense.
the police station.
Well, I mean, if he was zoomed way in and didn't realize it, that wouldn't.
It wouldn't matter. He should have, if he was zoomed in and he could still see the river, there's no way he should have thought he was on the Canadian side because he was still looking at the river.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the video, so I don't know.
Well, I'll show you a picture of what he hit.
Oh yeah, the video actually shows him hitting the tree.
I seen the picture where you. Oh, here, let me.
Here you go. This is the building right here. And if you look how high the building is, that building is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories about. But if you go a little further up and look at the trees, look at how small the trees are.
Oh, I'm looking at it now.
And if you look at the automobile here, and you look at the tree, that's probably about 20, 25 feet max. So he was flying down this road, probably at about 20 feet. It hit that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the only tree in the crash, right in front of the city hall.
Right here.
his perspective was way off then. He didn't know where he was at.
And then he said that he thought he was right by the water because when it started to flip, you seeing this right here, but he was zoomed in. It looked like he was right next to it. But like I said, this is the building he hit by. And if you look at the trees right there, that's a big tree. But I don't think that's the tree he hit. They said they found it by the building. This is the building he's talking about, right here.
Yeah, because didn't he say he was like 80 feet or something?
Well, that's what he said he was.
Because 80
But
foot,
that's
that's
the
a
only
high,
tree
that's
is
a
right
tall
there.
ass tree.
That's not 80 feet
No, not even.
because that's a 6-story building. Well, how many feet is 6 stories?
Does he actually have the video?
Nearly
60 feet?
nearly 10 foot a story.
Yeah, about 60 feet, right?
Yeah.
So if that's 60 feet, that might be 20 feet. Because the reason I'm saying 20, I'm looking at the automobile and trying to judge the automobile. You stand them up, you might have 2.5 automobiles.
Yeah,
So
because when
he
he
had
said
to
it,
be flying sideways down this road right here into these trees.
Yeah, and the car's about 15 to 20 feet long, depending on the car.
Yeah. So he hit one of these.
I don't know. That's because, yeah, where he thought he was way off.
And he wasn't even close. That was one of them Will Robinson's danger. What's up, Ron?
Morning.
Hello, other car.
All right, I gotta jump off. I'll catch y'all later.
Later.
Right.
Nice to see you too, Justin.
Yeah, I gotta go back to work
Hey,
for a
Ron.
little bit, so I'll see y'all later.
Everybody.
We're all right. You missed all the excitement with Paul.
What did he break now?
Oh, he lost another drone last week. But then he got it back 3 days later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he ran into a tree by the police station.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went looking for it in Canada because he said it was in Canada. He said he was flying down the middle of the river and he zoomed in. And I said, if you zoomed in, you don't know where you were. And when it was all said and done, from looking at every angle of the pictures, he had to be about 20, 25 feet max off the ground. And he hit a tree on this side, on the United States side, 1.5 miles away by the police station.
Oops.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a Will Robinson's moment. Danger,
The
danger.
maintenance worker found it and took it into the city hall, and the police then found out who it.
Yeah. So much
They
for
must have
visual
got-
line of sight, huh?
Yeah, they must have got in touch with the FAA.
Situational awareness, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was good of them, though, to find out who it belonged to and then phone him up.
My ears were burning. What's going on?
We're talking about your flight.
Which one?
We're talking about how in about a week you're gonna get a letter from the FAA.
No.
Gonna say, turn in your 107.
Right, I'm going to have to disappear now, lads. I've got an appointment in half an hour.
Okay, Mark. Thanks
Yeah,
for
Mark.
stopping in.
See you later.
Ron came in and ran everybody off.
Yeah, apparently. Hey, feel the love here.
All right, see you, lads.
Okay, bye-bye.
Tell me more about your story, Paul.
What story?
I hit a tree and was it near the police station or something?
Well, it was right next to the city building.
Hmm.
And the police department's in the basement.
Who found it?
A maintenance worker, I think, because they just called me and they said, we have your drone here. And I said, I'll be right there. And I shot down because we got 8 to 10 inches yesterday, and it was just before the snow started.
Oh, good. How is it flyable or broken apart or what?
Yeah, everything seems to work.
Oh,
Broken prop. From trying to shoot through the tree.
uh,
Yeah, props and
Gentlemen.
trees don't usually go together.
no. Been there, done that.
Now, you know, Paul, if you would have hit find my drone, you would have known right where it was. Why I always make sure I got a map on mine and I got my my drone set so that if I do have a problem with it, I can hit it and look for it. I've only had to do it one time. That was with the Avata 2. When I clipped the tree out in the middle of the park, I had to go looking for it. Actually, I clipped the tree. I clipped the freaking Spanish moss. That stuff's like, that just reaches out and grabs you.
Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah. Got the day off today and gotta go do some car repairs. Driving down the interstate the other day and my driver's side window decided to fall down. So
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, that was a chilly ride home at 10 below zero.
Oh, that sucks. That really sucks.
Yeah.
Is it electric window or what?
Yeah. So the motor for that is alone is like $350. This is why I keep working all these extra hours. Just when you think, I'm gonna start getting ahead, no, wrong, something's gonna break.
You never get ahead.
No. I did, however, have a really, really good. I can't remember whether I revealed to you. Towards the end of last hunting season, I had some differences with the outfitter I've been working for, and he is all about money. Doesn't care what or who he hurts, including his own family. His daughter and son-in-law started their own guiding business about 5 years ago, and he is at war with them. He had a total of 10 hunting guys working for him. 6 have left, including myself, in the past year. That should tell you something. When more than half of your employees leave, don't want to work for you anymore. So I've been kind of bummed about that because that's one of the reasons I moved out west. I wanted to be a hunting guide. I first met him back in 2001. I've known the man over 20 years and thought he was a friend and found out that he indeed was not. I was nothing more than an employee and an opportunity for money for him. Anyhow, long story short, one of the guides who have quit started to work for another outfitter. Put a good word in for me. Contacted the man, told him history and experience, and he and his wife agreed to meet me. So I met with them Monday morning and had a sit down breakfast with them. And they popped some questions at me, and turns out this outfitter used to work for the guy I work for. Told me his experience, and he now has his own business and rapidly growing. But by the end of the conversation, 2-hour breakfast, he told me to go ahead and apply for my guide license. And when in the state of Wyoming, you can't just go be a hunting guide. You have to work under the license of a licensed outfitter. So he told me at the end of the conversation to go ahead and apply for my license and put his name down as the outfitter. He has a second business in Canada, in Saskatchewan, called Rainbow Lake, and he has a fishing and bear camp up there, and wanted to know what my interests were about going up there and working. I'm like, yes. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, yes, I did.
So, just totally different. What's sad, is, he met up with the guy I've been working for the last 10 years. And they've had differences out there. In Wyoming, a lot of the hunting ground, there's a lot of state ground. Anybody can go on state ground. But a lot of the state ground is surrounded by private ground. So you have to drive through the private ground to get to the state land. Sometimes, depending on how it's laid out or how the access is, sometimes you cannot. You have to have permission from the landowner to drive through his land, not hunt on it, but drive through it to get to the state land to hunt. But what I just was totally kind of surprised. No, in one way surprised, another way not. But this new guy that I'm dealing with, a lot of his properties that he has leased from ranchers, they border some of the properties that Ralph had or has. And apparently at the end of last fall, this new guy that I'm talking to, they shot a deer on his land. The deer ran off, jumped a fence, and died on Ralph's property. So the proper and legal thing to do is to call either the landowner or the person who has the hunting lease and say, hey, this is what happened. This animal died on that property, your property. May I have permission to go and retrieve it? And apparently he called Ralph and gave him a really hard time. And he said, Ron, finally, I just said, screw it. Screw you. I'll call Fish and Game. And they will, because it is law that if you shoot an animal while out hunting, it is your obligation to retrieve that animal. And anyhow, so he called him another day and said, hey, sit and think about this, guys. If I invited you to go have breakfast with me and have a discussion with you, sit and have breakfast in a public setting, in a public restaurant, does that mean I want to be aggressive or what? Apparently Ralph got there, and next thing you know, he wants to take him outside and go at it outside. What the hell? So I'm learning more and more about this guy that I just left. And to have behavior like that, I'm sorry, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, that's not right.
But this new guy is just, him and his wife are so nice. Oh my God. He told me, he said, Ron, go ahead and get your guide license, keep your receipt and give it to me. I will pay for it. That's $150. He said, you'll be given a gas card. You don't use your own gas. You can use your own vehicle. You don't use your own gas. I pay for your gas. I'm like, holy cow. And
now, does he pay a flat rate or is it per trip?
Yeah, it's a flat rate per day. But he also pays for your gasoline. There's days I've spent 50, 75 bucks a day on gas, but he pays for that. Plus he pays you a flat rate. Plus you get a tip from your hunter. But they're a younger couple. They're only like maybe early 40s, but just, my God, they were so nice. And his wife did ask me a couple challenging questions. Ron, given this scenario, how would you handle it? You know, apparently I gave the right answers. So, he said, I'm not going to have a whole lot for you because you are low on the totem pole. Totally understood. I'm the new guy coming in. But I think if I do what I did with Ralph 12 years ago, is come in there and show initiative, I think I'll climb the ranks, you know, eventually. You know, but I'm just happy that, you know, I got this opportunity again. So, as you guys know as well as I do how much I enjoyed doing that. And it's not about going out and shooting an animal. It's about the relationships. I've made relationships with people all over this nation. I just talked to a guy this morning from California who I've hunted with for 8 years, and I hope he gets back out here. He's suffering some health problems right now, and don't know if he'll be back out, but he's somebody I've been with for 8 years. Every single time he calls me, he talks about a different story. And just this morning he said, Ron, do you remember about 3 years ago after that ice storm, and you and I were up on top of that mountain? And matter of fact, I distinctly remember, and I'm sure you guys might not remember it, Paul, but that very morning, I remember that morning of being with him and just how beautiful it was, because all the ice was on the trees and the sun was just coming up, and you were doing a live stream, and I come onto your live stream. I remember doing that. They said it was probably good 4 or 5 years ago. But John likes to talk about stories like that, times that we've had and memories, and, you know, being out together, and, you know, and that's the part I would have really missed if I lost all those opportunities. So now I've got to start with new people, get new clients, you know, make new friends. However, 2 of my previous clients have now come over to my brand new place. And, you know, here, Trey had told me the other day, he's like, Ron, you haven't even started working for me, and you've already got me 2 customers. So, in other words, I just put several $1,000s in his pocket and haven't even started working for him yet. So,
Well, that's cool.
yeah, that all worked out. And then on the other side of the coin, I'm feeling a little somber today. Got a phone call from my supervisor in North Dakota the other day. Said, Ron, I need all your stuff back. I need your old flight suits, name badges, airport badge. So my current supervisor has a girlfriend up in Fargo who he goes up to see every 2 weeks. So he went up there yesterday, and I gave him all my stuff. And in other words, it was that, how do I say, the closure, so to speak. I gave him all my stuff, and he was going to run into him up in Dickinson. That was kind of a little bit of a somber moment, you know. After 30 years of flying, it's something you've done for a long time, and now all of a sudden you give it up. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, gave it hell, man. Gave it hell. But I sit and think about, look what's happening in our nation. In the past 2-3 weeks, there's been like 3 major airline crashes.
Yeah.
You know,
They're running at each other on runways, everything now.
yeah.
So that you sure it's the motor on your window?
Yeah, we tore the side of it off, the side panel, and We tried to operate the motor and it's all boogered up. Yeah. They call
I
it
had in my Lincoln, my window broke twice. And it was always the mechanism, you know, to lift the window that broke.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, kind of what that is.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a motor relay or whatever it is they call it,
But you don't
No,
need the motor. You
pardon
don't
me?
need the motor for that. All you need is the motor goes on to that. You ought to be a separate piece.
No, I actually, one nice thing about having a local mechanic in, Hoboken, Wyoming, it's not like going to a dealership where you like, yeah, go ahead and take my car in the back and come out and give me a bullshit story that something's broken.
Yeah.
You go right in there. And I was sitting there side by side with them and I actually helped them tear it apart. So.
Yeah, because mine, like I said, mine both times it was the fiberglass, not the fiberglass, the plastic like a nylon
Yeah.
that makes it go up and down. It broke twice.
Yeah.
And I bought a Dorman, the second one, so I had a lifetime warranty on it. So when it broke, I got my money back. But it was a pain in the ass that I had to go in and do it. And
you take it all apart.
You have to have a drill. First off, the first time I did it, I went to Safelite and let them do it because Safelite did it for like $90, as long as I had the part. So for $90, I'd rather pay them $90 than spend an hour and a half pulling everything apart and putting it back. The second time it broke, I said, "Oh hell no! I'm going to learn how to do this." So I pulled the door off and saw it. I had to go buy a drill, drill it out, put a bolt in it instead of a rivet, and I knew what I was doing then. And that was $35 plus a drill, and I kept the drill. But that's a pain in the ass, especially if it's cold or raining, and all of a sudden the window falls down when you close the door. I remember when it happened, it was raining the last time. When I closed the door, it does that, and I just looked down and went, "Really?" Yeah. Yeah, they were both times they broke were inopportune moments.
Just Laura in there. I just said hi to her. It's been a while. Where's David been? Does he still come on?
Once in a great while. He's been kind of under the weather too. He's got all kinds of medical issues as well.
Well, did anyone watch my live stream just now? I was outside.
No, we didn't see it. We didn't get. We don't have. I don't have. I've got the chat. I don't have anything else up. We just got this up.
It's cold out there. I was gonna tell you guys I was going live, but Ron was right in the middle of the story. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Oh, that's all right, man.
But I went out there and beautiful. Woo, beautiful. Paul, did I tell you it was beautiful?
Was it beautiful?
It was beautiful. Cold out there.
Yeah, it was beautiful there, Lance.
I heard it was beautiful out there.
But you're pixelating again.
Am I? Yeah.
When you were walking, it was pixelating. You were pixelating.
So I wonder why that is. I've got it set at 720.
It looked like you were going in and out of a time warp.
Yeah, just so that YouTube live stream. I'm guessing it has to do with my internet speed where I'm standing. It sucks. But I'm gonna go.
Yeah, we're still overcast, no sun yet. They said it's
Nothing.
gonna be about noon.
Okay, let's go here. YouTube. See if I can see it.
Hey, Ron, the other day I went flying in Fairview State Park and I got approached by a Karen.
Oh, how did you handle Karen?
Well, I didn't have to handle it. She was smart enough to call the park rangers, and the park rangers handled her.
Oh.
I was flying the Avata 2, and when I had flown the Neo twice, and then I was putting the Avata 2 up, and they drove up, and she walked in. There was a little gazebo area with bathrooms. So it's like picnic tables under it and everything. And I watched her walk into the bathroom. So I went flying. I was flying the other side, came back through the back of the building so I could go through the building, through the back, and then flew around about 30 feet from the front of the building, went back around the corner, came back, and noticed that she was walking almost to her car by then. So if she came out the bathroom when I was flying close to her, I was 30, 35 feet away from her, way out on the sidewalk. So I wasn't close. And I heard her say, "Who's flying the drone?" Because another car pulled up. And they said, "The guy over there." She goes, "Well, why is he flying a drone? You know, he's not supposed to be flying a drone in the state park or around people like that." So I don't pay attention to it. I'm flying and doing my thing. And then when I come back, I really couldn't see her where she was, but in the video you can see her. She's behind the car on the phone, kind of hiding behind a car. So they come out and they come walking over to me and start talking to me. And they said, "What are you flying?" I said, "The Avata 2. He goes, "Yeah, that's cool." He said, "I don't have one." He said, "But I wanted one." And he flies drones, right? So she's over there and she starts on his ass. Well, he flew, I was in the bathroom and he flew his drone and he said, he looked at me and he said, "You were flying a drone?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "She was in the bathroom, I was flying over here." And she said, "Well, he's not supposed to be flying around people." And I went to the bathroom and he says, "Did he go to the bathroom with you, with the drone? Did he fly it inside?" "No, he didn't fly it inside, so what's the problem?" "Well, he's flying it around people in a state park." "Ma'am, he could do that here." And he's apparently, he said he wasn't flying around. I said, "You need to look at the flight? I can show you." "No, I don't need to look at the flight like this." And I said, "I know the rules on Part 107 like that." And he said, "You Part 107, so you need my credentials?" And he says, "No, I don't need them like this." And she starts to mouth off, and I said, "Well, let me show them to you anyway." And I pull them out, and I got the badge on the front, right? And I went like this, and she looks down, she goes, "Oh, y'all just gonna stick together now, huh?"
Oh,
And where was
So-
she from on the license plate?
I'm gonna tell you. So he says, "Ma'am, listen, he didn't go in the bathroom with you, so he didn't do anything wrong. He's flying a drone where he can fly his drone. So that's the problem. Just let it go. We're not gonna do him anything. If he wants to fly right now, he can fly right now. Like that." So she gets shelled, she's sticking together and walks off. And the husband already had left and went and got in the car. He didn't want to deal with her. He didn't want to deal with her. So the other couple is standing right there too, and they're listening to it. So she walks off and gets in the car, and when they're starting to drive off, one of the Rangers starts falling out laughing. And he says, "You gotta take a look at this, check that plate out. New Jersey." Okay, now that was number one.
Yeah.
Number one. So the other couple that were from Illinois, I think it was, the woman says, "Well, I can't believe they just weren't nicer to her, and that he's allowed to fly a drone here and all of this, because they can't do it by our state." And the cop turns around and says, "Ma'am, he can fly in the state of Louisiana in state parks." She goes, "Well, you don't have to justify it to me like this." He said, "Then shut your mouth and go back to your state." He said it to it just like this. "Then shut your mouth, walk on, and go back to your state later."
Yeah.
Just like that. And then the other guy says, "You're gonna fly somewhere?" He says, "Yeah." He said, "We're gonna watch." So I'm flying with them there, you know. But the two Rangers didn't give them a minute, you know. Leave them alone, you know. But that was funny. But I can see who wore the pants in that family.
yeah. Wasn't him.
And she really wasn't that pretty either, so that's even worse. But that's the first time I've ever had anybody do anything like that.
Well, then, let's say Thursday, Tuesday, I was working. I had to do my first time disciplinary action. Oh God, that sucked. I didn't like that. But
What were they doing wrong?
well, the guy who is training me, he's my supervisor. He said, "Ron, today is the first day I am just an an imaginary person today. You are the man in charge. I'm like, oh crap. So they went kind of busy. You know, it was going okay. But then we had a transfer from our hospital to Rapid City. It's about 2 hours each way. And it was kind of a high intensity patient that would be better served in the hospital in Rapid City. So the patient was on a ventilator, and Landon, my supervisor, said, Ron, can you help me out? I said, here's what we're going to do. You told me to be in charge. So let me deal with this and that, and then the patient will be ready to go in 20 minutes. I will come up there with you and help you out. So everything's going great. But this girl who, she's young, probably early 20s.
One of those know-it-all types?
No, not the exact opposite. She's going to be driving. My supervisor's going to be in the back with the patient. And so we started getting all the equipment out, getting things ready. I looked out of the corner of my eye and I see her standing there, and she's like almost shaky. And she's not doing a whole lot to help. And I'm like, Landon, you okay? He goes, yeah. I said, give me a minute. I looked at her and I said, please step out in the hall. So I take her out in the hallway. I said, what's going on? And she goes, I think I'm having a panic attack. I'm like, okay. Is there a particular reason why? Or I just don't feel good. I said, all right. We have another crew in the emergency room at the same time. So I made an immediate decision to switch her out with another guy. So that way there, I know somebody that's competent, in good health, is driving my supervisor 4 hours round trip, you know. So I switched that out and I'm like, all right, now what am I going to do with her? And as soon as we get the transfer on the way, they start heading towards Rapid City. So I'm like, all right, she's going to be on this other crew. I need to talk to her a little more. So I pulled her in a room privately and I said, all right, I need to know what's going on. How are you doing right? Oh, I'm fine now. I can stay in town and run 911 calls. I'm like, wait a minute. You're not okay to go on this transfer, but you're okay to stay in town and run emergency calls. Something's not adding up to me. So I said, right now I need you to get down to the station and I need to make a few phone calls. So I called Landon. He's on his way to Rapid City, and I kind of filled him in on what's going on exactly. And he goes, Ron, you're in charge. Remember, you deal with it, and I will back up any decision you have. Some said to me that not that she was going to be, I mean, Landon is the one that's in charge of the patient. She was pretty much, she's just no, I shouldn't say it the wrong way.
Just a ride along, right?
No, she's an EMT, but she's not at the level that is required to take care of that patient. That's why she's driving and my supervisor's in the back. He's a paramedic. So I kind of explained to him what she had said to me. He goes, I know what I would do if I was in charge, but you're in charge today. Crap, thanks, buddy. He goes, Ron, this is the time for you to sink or swim. All right. So I went back down to the station and I pulled one of the high-level supervisors aside and I said, I need you to come with me. And this is a witness. But I went up to her and I said, here's the decision I've made. I don't feel that something was 100% truthful here. So here's my decision. I'm going to send you home for the day, unpaid. And I don't feel you've been truthful with me. I said, I don't know if you were just having an anxiety attack because of the high acuity of this call, but you're required to deal with any kind of patient we have here. And so I'm going to send you home. You have any questions? And she started to cry. I'm like, that's not going to work. I said, go home. We can discuss this more later, but I've been given the power to make the decision today. So that's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm sorry, but I need everybody to be safe. If you tell me you're having a panic attack, do I want you behind the wheel of a vehicle that includes yourself, a partner, a patient? Yeah. So, yeah, kind of felt bad about it, because I really like the girl. She's very nice, but I feel she was lying to me. And then my supervisor advised me that he had overheard her saying something about she had plans after work. So that transfer would have taken her way past her duty time. I think that's where she was lying. So I think she was just trying to pull some wool over my eyes. And
Well, she would have been better off, Ron, to be right up front with you. Says, I've got dinner plans.
yeah. If she would have said, hey, I got some really important plans after work, is there any way I can switch out with somebody?
Yeah.
I would have said, yeah, here, let me see what I can do. But that would have taken her about 2 hours plus past her shift. And we do that every day. It happens all the time. There's a lot of days that I don't get out on time. It's part of the job, That's why I say never make plans for after work. You can, but always have a backup plan. So, yeah. So when my supervisor got back about 4 hours later, he's like, well, how'd it go? I said, I sent her home. He goes, good, because that's what I was going to do. So, but yeah. Anywho. So then the big boss come in the next morning and he heard about it. So he pulls me aside and asked me for all the details, and I told him. He said, how'd you handle it? I told him. He said, good job. I'll be talking to her later. I'm like, ooh, okay. So, yeah. But,
Well, you did right. It sometimes doing right doesn't always feel comfortable.
exactly.
But you knew what you had to do and how you had to handle it, and you did a good job at handling it the way you did because everybody supporting you. But
Yeah.
it still comes down to, gee, I wish it wouldn't have happened.
Couldn't put it better. I wish it wouldn't have. I don't like doing stuff like that, but
No.
kind of put me in a position where it's like I wasn't given a whole lot of choice here. So, yeah. How many drones are you down to now, Paul?
1, 2, 3. No, actually I have 2 of the Air 2Ss because they found this. I got this call from the police department.
Oh.
So I got 2 of those Air 2Ss, and I have the Flip, Air 2S and the Flip. Yep. Three drones. 2 Air 2Ss and the Flip.
I'm gonna block my daughter.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna block her from my phone.
Your daughter keeps ringing you up?
Yeah, she's blown up the phone because of what Elon's his son said to Trump yesterday in the Oval Office. She said, he told Trump that you aren't the president. I guess he thinks the dad's the president. Why is, get over it. Y'all lost the election. Shit, you know?
Yeah, she's got Trump syndrome.
No, she's an idiot. That's the way she is. She listens to her mama.
Hey, those of you that have the Air 2S, raise your hand.
The what? What's that?
The Air 2S, raise your hand. I have never used that smart function on the photo part. I'd never even seen it before. That's cool. You know, so it automatically enhances your image for you right there.
Well, I never even knew that.
Have you guys used that? I wonder if it's new. Because I'd never, you know, not that I don't, to be honest with you, I don't take a lot of photos with the Air 2S. And so when I went out there this morning to take pictures, I thought, there's burst mode, and, you know, that's kind of a, you know, and the auto bracketing, and I played with that. And then I saw the smart feature, and I thought, that's kind of cool. And I turned it on, and it brightened, you know, it popped the oranges in the, you know, the sunrise. And
wow, I might try that. Because I actually charged my batteries up the other day.
Yeah. You take many photos, Paul?
What's that?
You take many photos with yours?
No, I don't take any photos. I pull the photos afterwards.
Gotcha.
I'm a very minimal user because it's all on auto, it's all does its own thing, and I just fly.
In that last flight, when you lost it, it did its own thing already.
You know, that's what I'm doing is I'm trying to find the video, and I think I deleted it all.
It was on your card. Did you reformat the card?
Yes.
You live in Port Huron?
Yep.
I'm gonna look this. Well, I wouldn't know where you crashed. I haven't seen it because I was always driving when Joe was showing this morning. You want to show it again, Joe? Port Huron. Centennial Park.
That's across in Canada.
Okay, so did you crash by the Black River?
Yep.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Hold on.
Municipal Office Center. Is that the police station?
That's where the police department is, in the basement there.
Yeah. I don't see any trees there.
Right in. I'm gonna show you the tree. That's the building.
Okay.
Okay, that's the building, right? I'm gonna show you the tree. Hold on. That's the only trees right here.
No way.
Look how low those trees are.
Yeah, those are 15, 20 feet tall.
Yeah, because you look at the automobile, and if you stand it up, you might have 2.5.
Yeah.
So he had to have been flying sideways in zoom this way, right down the street, and hit him right here. He probably, if he didn't hit this one, he hit this one.
And show me where you
it
launched
was-
from in the other image, in the pan out.
He launched from right
up there by the bridge.
Right
there. Okay.
So what he did is he said he came down here, down this peninsula, down the river. So what he probably did, he probably was here. And he probably went sideways to get this. And he probably did this. He probably just kept coming this way.
Yeah.
Like that.
And he thought
Because
it
like I
was,
said, he was zoomed. If he was in the middle of the river right here and he was zoomed in, okay, let's say he was here and he zoomed in and came sideways, it would be straight down here.
and he
You're
thought
only
he
in the middle of
crashed,
the river until you run out.
he thought he crashed in front of the ship, kind of, on that little peninsula.
He thought he crashed way over here,
Oh, okay.
you know, because it got a little slip here where that ship there's a park over on this side,
Okay.
or way over here. But to hit that tree, he had to be somewhere in the neighborhood. You look at that tree, that isn't high. And the other trees here are smaller.
In fact, I'm at ground level now. Oh, yeah. Let me share with you.
Because I went looking at it. That tree is not high.
Oh, there are the two trees. So he hit one of
Yeah.
those.
6, 12, 18, 24 feet,
So
maybe
you
30
know,
feet.
how many of those guys are there? 1, 2, 3,
5.
4, 5, maybe 6, maybe.
Yeah,
6,
probably
10,
36 feet.
30 feet. This one's probably 35, maybe 40, maybe. And it fell right there, and there's probably no snow there at the time, huh? Well, good job, Paul.
Yeah, I can't find it. I must have erased it.
Are you looking at the right card?
You sure you're looking at the right SD card? Not in the drone?
Well, I erased the card. Oh, wait a minute. There's one in the drone. Wait a minute. Let me look. Let me
The
see
one
what
in
I
the
got.
drone, probably, huh?
And did you buy 6 or 7 of those SD cards the other day? Like
Yeah.
Joe told you? Like Joe told you?
I'm gonna buy stock in Amazon just for what he bought.
So Joe, I was only pixelated the first like
In the very
30
beginning.
seconds. And then when I landed, I wasn't pixelated at all. So
Yeah, it looked better after that.
yeah, I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah, I was gonna go back and retype it, but I didn't feel like going back.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you that you only pixelated in the beginning. Laura.
Double L.
He said, "Where have you been hiding, Ron?" Hi, Paul. How are you? Hi, Don. Shut up, Joe.
I can't get it to screen share. I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, you can screen share only on the Zoom workspace. Oh, not on YouTube. And it'll be on the very bottom. It'll say Zoom workspace up in the top left-hand corner. On the very bottom, have a big green share. You don't have Zoom workspace in the top left-hand corner, you're on YouTube. Because if your chat's next to it, you're on YouTube.
Today's red and crown day for the staff. I don't know why it's red and crown.
No, Jonathan, she changed it to just 2.
That doesn't fit.
You've been going to McDonald's. That's why she had to take the little off. Damn. Been eating a lot of nuggies and chips.
Hey, can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, this was at the end of the run. This was down the Canadian side.
Now remember, he zoomed in too. Yeah, you can see you only about 20 feet high because of the trees. 20 or 30 feet high. There you go.
You're lucky you hit those trees because you would have banged right into that building.
Did you get any kind of warning, Paul?
No, I
And
have them all turned off.
Gee, that helps.
And you're down.
He has obstacle avoidance turned off, which was sideways anyway. Number two, he's got hover, not return to home. I can't remember what the other one was. So it's not set to bypass, set to stop and hover. So we changed it on the last one. His return home height was 800 feet. You got to set those settings, Paul. Yeah, copy that on your computer so you don't lose it.
And there's where it landed. Now, how do I?
No.
Trying to figure out how do I get to save that?
Where you trying to save it from? Is it in a drone? Stop. You should be able to right click and have save as on the video. Or you should up on the top should have a file and it should say save as under.
I'm going to share something again here. Okay. You see this right here? You see that right there?
Yeah. The bird?
Let me back it up just a little bit.
Like a bird.
The It flies upside down like it's a drone.
I think you hit it. What do you think, Paul?
Or that bird hit me.
Am I on mute?
No,
That's a bird, Paul. You hit the tree. You did not hit a bird.
I
The
think you
bird
did.
did not hit you.
I think you hit
Because
it.
you're upside down in the snow, looking up at the sky. That's the ground. The ground, that's the bird way up in the sky. If you looked at, that's the ground underneath you upside down. You're looking,
Yeah,
look
look
at
at-
the way the grass is growing. The grass is growing towards the sky.
yeah, that's a bird.
And that bird is, I guarantee you, that bird is at 100 feet at least. At least.
You're on mute there, Joe.
When you look at that flight, the way you're going sideways, you're level with those trees on the other side.
Yep.
And those trees on the other side are the same height as the tree you hit.
Yeah, I lost my perspective as to where I was.
And you're lucky you hit those trees and not the building, right? Those
Yeah,
trees
that's right.
protect you.
Exactly. God was looking out for me.
Good karma, Paul. Good karma.
Even though my best buddy Captain Joe wasn't.
I wasn't there.
He told you to
Because-
send it.
Captain Joe just tells me to go for it. Yep. Right, Joe?
He questions why you didn't send the flip.
I don't think the flip would have survived as well as this one did. I could be wrong.
Jonathan, I agree with you. So Jonathan said, and I'm sure he heard it from Joe, that you buy the Air 3, Air 3S, so this wouldn't happen again this year like last year. Tell me I didn't. And I think he heard it from actually Joe. Joe is the one that's kind of getting all that started, I believe. Joe's going to have you buy the Mavic 4 in a month.
Well, there was some kind of a on YouTube, somebody put in there the Mavic 5. What was that?
You saving your money, Joe?
All the Mavic 5 is clickbait. It's not coming out yet.
What day was it that went down? It went down on a Saturday, right?
Went down on Saturday.
The first of February or the 8th of February? I think it was the first, wasn't it?
No, it had to be the 8th because it just happened.
8th.
Okay. Well, just a minute. I can tell you. I can look at my receipts from the bridge, which is the day after.
Guys, I'm gonna head out. Everybody have a good day.
Hey,
And we'll see you.
hey, Ron, stay out of trouble.
Always do my best. Take
Okay.
care, everybody. Bye-bye.
I need to create a video. I need to do some lesson planning too, guys, so I'm gonna take off.
Yeah, it was the 8th. Because it was the 9th when I went
Copy.
over the bridge to go look for it.
Have a good day, guys.
You gotta leave too?
What's that?
I think he said he was leaving too. No, Ron was leaving.
Yeah, I've got to, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I've got to do some lesson plans, guys, so I've got to get going.
Okay, everybody. Hey, we might as well shut it down, right, Joe?
Yep.
I'm packing it in.
Okay, we're gonna pack it in, everybody.
Later.
Later.
Later this afternoon. You're not gonna be around, Joe, because you're going shooting.
I got
Right?
basketball. Yeah, basketball.
Basketball. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Bye for now.